How I watched a multimillionaire go broke, part 4. All right, where did I leave off? She talked about her husband, how he had tried to have her committed, how he had the kids, the divorce. Okay, within the divorce, she went into a little more detail. She didn't tell me about the money, but she did tell me that she was given the house, so he went and got a different house in a different country club. And she got the house, and she got a certain amount of money from the divorce settlement. Now, I didn't pry or dig or anything like that. So for the next, like, I would say month, every day we would go out to like the county, you know, to do her. I come to her house, I pick her up, we go to the county, try to get these permits done. She would meet with different people, like people who do the elevated drawings, like you know, those architects and stuff like that for the planning. She to draw up the plans to submit back to the city. So we did some of that. We went out to see the property, huge property. I don't know how many acres it was, but it was right at the corner. And from what I understand, at that point, then she told me she wanted to put a gas station there. And she wanted to, so she was some things she was going through technically. I don't even know. So she was meeting with this person that works in City Hall and that person that works in City Hall. So we would go to lunch and she would have these lunches with these people. And that's when I would have a notepad and paper, and she just said, act like you're writing something down. And she would introduce me as her assistant, blah, blah, blah. And that's when, you know, I learned the game. This lady was going through a lot. She was smart. And she knew she was a businesswoman. And in herself, she would tell me during that time that she would cry to me and say, I want to show people that I can do this, that I can be on my own without my husband and make a living and sustain myself and be successful, even in this state of Georgia, as an ethnic woman, to be able to own multiple commercial properties and get things done. She wanted to be a boss, and that was, she said, I don't care what it takes. This is my goal. And she cried through it now. So we would go out every day and we would have these lunches. And then she found a way. She's so smart. She found this way. You know, rich people, they find a way to not spend money. I didn't know how much money she had still. I hadn't seen the bank accounts yet. That's coming. And I'm sure there were other ones that, I never saw. But anyway, she learned that the dirt that was on her land while she was waiting, that she could sell it. So she started selling the dirt. So we went out and put signs on the dirt for sale, with a phone number for them to call her so that she could sell the dirt. She's going to make money off the dirt that was on the land. Plus, it needed to be removed anyway. So she explained to me she wouldn't have to pay to remove it, and she could get the dirt and she could make some money for it. Then she started kind of telling me about what the overhead cost was for the land, because every month that she couldn't, so what she wanted to do was, she didn't want to structure it and build it out or anything like that. She wanted to put a gas station there to make money off it, but the rest of it, she wanted to make like a plaza, a shopping plaza. And the way you do that is you get a big company, like back then it was like Blockbuster or whatever, or a supermarket to sign on, or some store like that, like a Marshall, something that people would frequent, to sign on to saying they'll lease a space within that scheme. And then you could just sell it and have someone else develop it. But you could sell them that, okay, I have 2 major stores or major retailers or major things that would happen on this land, and you could just sell it and be done with it. So she was trying to do it and sell it and flip it like that. Smart lady. I'm gonna give it to her. Sally had it going on, okay? And she was flipping all the time and crying and mood swings and everything. I can relate. But she had a head on right. And I guess from, her and her husband were at business people with commercial property. So let me break it down. So that's what she was doing. That's what she was trying to accomplish at the time. Along with all the depression and everything that she was going on, separate from her kids and all that. I was her companion. About a month went by. I got a phone call from the people who had introduced me to her, my friend. And my friend's mother got on the phone with me, and she was like, Kia, thank you so much for helping her. She really loves you. She trusts you. We're glad that you're there with her, because we don't trust anybody else with her. And we don't, there's things that she needs done that she not able to do right now because of her being so, sad and stuff. And, So I'm letting you know ahead of time that she's going to expect you to do some other things for her that you probably wouldn't do for other people. And don't feel like you're in her business, or don't feel uncomfortable. Just help her in any way that you can. But right now, she loves you. I said, I love her too. And they like, we know you would. And I was just like, this is like a match made in heaven, huh? For some reason, she came into my life at a time where I needed her, and I came into her life at a time when she needed me. So it was like we were forming this sisterhood. So the second part of this is, so after I started doing that part of the business with her and just doing her regular errands for her, sometimes I would see her kind of like, she would say, okay, we're going to work today at, what time do you get out of school? I'd say 12. She said, can you come at 1? I say, sure. Because at that time, my son was old enough to go to, be home by himself and everything after school. And I was like, sure, yeah, I can be there. And so I would go by, and then we would start going through her mail, and organizing some of the business that she had going on with the business, to make sure that, everything was filed, all going through her files. So we would sit in her office within her house, and she was sitting on the floor, and we're supposed to be working, and I'm organizing the files and putting together a filing system because she didn't have one. She was just out there winging it, and smart as a whip. But she was out there winging it. She didn't know her head from her toe, but she was winging it, and she was getting things done, okay? And so we started with that. I still hadn't seen the bank accounts yet. But I noticed that when we'd be working, say we'd be working for an hour, she would say, that's not important. You can throw that out, keep that, name this file that. So she would kind of like conduct me on what she wanted me to do with the files. And so that's what we were doing. And we did that for about a month with the errands and all of that, another month. So I was about 2 months knowing her. And that's when she said, Kia, I'm going to need you to come sometimes in the evenings. And I was like, okay, I can do that. She's like, no, I'm gonna want you to stay overnight. I said, Sally, I don't know if I can stay overnight because I got a son, right? And he was about, maybe Paul was about 14, something like that. And I was like, I don't want to leave him at home myself. But my mother lived in the same state, really nearby me, like 2 doors down. So I was like, well, he can stay with my mother at night. School bus, same complex and everything. I was like, I could do it. I was like, but you got to let me know ahead of time, at least. Just don't throw it on me. And she was like, I'll pay you $200 just to stay overnight with me. And I kind of felt bad taking it. $200 per night on top of what I was already making. But I was like, I need this. And it was nothing to her. At the time, I didn't know. I felt like I was like, oh, gosh, I don't want to take her money, lady crying all the time. And I said, okay. And so I started to come and stay overnight with her sometimes. So I would do that like 3 times a week. And then it got to the point where she would tell me that she would want me to watch her overnight. Or not even overnight, come in the daytime. She'd be like, Kia, I'm on my medication. I don't know how many, I don't remember how many I took. We are all guilty of that. I do it now. I'd be like, did I take that already? If I think I took it already, then I'd be like, never mind, I'm not going to take it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you'd be like, did I take that already? And you really don't know. So she was like trying to make sure that, whatever, that she didn't take too much. And so I was like, yeah, I'll come watch you. So mind you, I'm probably making about $1,500 a week, staying the night, sometimes 2 or 3 nights. And I mean just sleep or watch her maybe 2 hours, sleep, wake up, go to school, boom. And then the regular work I would do for her. The nights I would stay overnight, I wouldn't work in the day. So she was like, okay, when I would leave in the morning. And I'll come back with part 4. I think this is part 5.